2004 Volvo S40 front strut replacement. I'm Brian Eslick from Automotive, and we'll walk you through that process. Okay, if you're doing this at home, jack it up with floor jacks and jack stands. You want the suspension hanging, and to go ahead and remove the wheels. Now that you got the wheel off, we need to remove this clip that holds the brake line off. And I just use a pair of pliers and pull it off. And then also here on the opposite side of the strut, we got this little grommet that holds the ABS wire on. So pop that out of the grommet. Then we're going to remove the two bolts here. They're 18mm bolts, so you back it up with an 18 wrench and take the impact gun and remove the two nuts and bolts. And then there's a 15mm here that holds the sway bar link in on. Remove that. To get this clip off, what I did was take a pair of pliers like this and grip it on the tip of it. And I used the pliers and I rotated it out like that, and it pops the clip out for you. So now you can go ahead and remove the three nuts that are holding the strut in here. And then once you get the last one, you want to kind of reach your hand around here and hold the strut while you take the last nut off. The reason why is it wants to fall and it'll land on top of the CV boot here, and it can cut the boot open. So you want to hold it with one hand. So once you get the last nut off, then you can just maneuver the strut out of the car. Okay, now that you got the strut, I put it in the my strut machine here that helps compress the strut, so we can take the center nut out here and remove the strut from the springs assembly. We're also going to change the bearings and the dust boots and everything. We're going to do it all complete. So to set them up in these machines, this is here's a Brenix. So what we're going to do is you want the top plate to be as center like this as you can possibly get it, and you want the strut straight up and down as you can possibly get it. And they have adjustments here on the left and on the right, and you can adjust it side to side, whatever you need to do. And for extra safety, I put a pair of vice grips on there, clamps a spring to the jaws. And after you do that, you spin the handle down until the spring lifts off the plate and the strut is free like that. Now you can remove the top nut, the center nut here. To remove the nut, I just use my impact gun like this. So now that the strut has come out, if you were replacing the bearing plates up top here, then all you would do is transfer over your dust boot and your bump stop over to your new strut, slip it in, start the top nut, tighten it, and then release the spring pressure. But since we're doing it, so if you're not changing the bearing plate, you can do it that way. It's in good shape. So for me, I'm changing it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna release the tension from the spring, and then I'm gonna take this plate off and then put the new one on. So after transferring over your strut and your bearing plate, if you're changing those, your new bump stops, and then you just start your nut, the center nut, and tighten it up, and then release the tension. And then you also want to make sure when you do these, you want to make sure that the ends of the spring land in the perch right here. They have a little catch that tells you where to stop. And also it has the same thing on the underside of this spring pad. If you so it turns to it has a little catch just like this ear here, and you line that up. So now that we got our new strut assembled, and also you want to make sure you got the left and right side of. You want to make sure that that you don't get these mixed up from the side, because the brake line goes through this little bracket. So now you're going to take the strut and slip it top in first, up into the strut tower there, and then start a couple of the nuts on the top for these bolts. So now that you got the strut stabbed in there, I had to hold the brake lines and stuff out of the way, and then I just got a couple of nuts started on top. I'm not going to tighten these up yet. I'll tighten these up after I bolt all this up and lower the car back down. So now you can go ahead and line up your spindle and the strut and put the bolts through here, and then after you tighten those up, and once you've got those tightened up, then you can put your brake hose back through, and then slide the clip over, hammer the clip on, put your rubber grommet back in here,
and then remount your sway bar and tighten that up. Okay, now that you got the bracket back in, I just push it on, and I used a little hammer and tapped it on, tighten up the 218s, the rubber grommet, and the sway bar link in. Now you can put your front wheels on and torque them down, lower the car down, and when we lower the car down, we're going to tighten the top 3 bolts holding it on. Okay, now that you got the 3 bolts tightened up on both sides, I like to hit the center nut, tighten it up one last time, because if there's any gap in between there at all, it'll make a click noise. So I'll give that one more hit with my impact gun and tighten it up. And after that completes the job of how to replace the front struts on a 2004 Volvo S40. One other recommendation I'd like to give you is have it aligned after doing any major repairs, suspension work. It's a good idea to have it aligned afterwards. I'm Brian Eslick from How To Automotive. I'd like to thank you for watching my videos and remind you to subscribe for more valuable videos like this. Thank you.